Last time we have discussed about metals reaction with oxygen. In that we have seen that when metals react with oxygen they produce metal oxide, and these metal oxides they are soluble in water. When they react with water they produce metal hydroxide. And when we test this solution with red litmus paper, we found that red litmus paper changes to blue in color. Now coming to another metal, that is aluminium. When aluminium reacts with oxygen, it produces aluminium oxide. Now we have to test the nature of this aluminium oxide, for which I will try to dissolve it in water, but it is not soluble. Then I will take part of aluminium oxide and mix it with hydrochloric acid. It is soluble and it will react with hydrochloric acid and it will produce aluminium chloride, that is AlCl3. Now if I take this aluminium oxide and try to mix with base, that is sodium hydroxide, I found that it reacts with sodium hydroxide and it produces sodium aluminate. So what does this imply? This implies that the oxide produced by aluminium is reacting with acid and it is producing the salt, and it is also reacting with the base and producing salt. Children, when it is reacting with acid, it is behaving like a base and producing the respective salt. And when it is reacting with the base, it is acting like an acid. So what we can conclude from this is the oxide is neither as it is acidic as well as basic in nature. Such oxides are called as amphoteric oxide. Now let us discuss about reaction of non-metals with oxygen. What happens when non-metal reacts with oxygen? So when non-metal reacts with oxygen, it produces non-metallic oxide. Now similar to the previous experiment where we have tested the metal oxide nature, here also we will be testing the nature of the oxide produced. Now for example, I take carbon and I am heating it in presence of oxygen, I will obtain carbon dioxide. Now if I will dissolve this carbon dioxide in water, or I will mix this carbon dioxide gas with water, I will be getting carbonic acid. What I will obtain? Carbonic acid. Now I will be using red litmus paper and blue litmus paper. In this case, what I will observe is the red litmus paper will remain red and the blue will change to red. Right? When the blue color litmus paper changes its color to red, that means it is acidic in nature. What it is? It is acidic in nature. Now take another example, that is sulfur powder. I will take this sulfur powder in a deflagrating spoon and I will heat this sulfur powder with the help of Bunsen burner. Now this sulfur powder will start getting heated and it will release fumes or gas will be released. Now I'll place this in a glass jar. I'll take this deflagrating spoon and I'll place it either in a glass jar or I'll place it in a test tube, so that the gas will be collected in this, and then I'll close the lid of it. Now the gas is collected in this glass jar. Then I will add water to it. What I will add? Water. When I will add water to the produced oxide, like first what I have done, I have heated sulfur in the presence of oxygen, then I have obtained sulfur dioxide. Now I will dissolve this sulfur dioxide in water, or I will mix it with water. Then the sulfur dioxide reacts with water and it will produce sulfurous acid. What it will produce? Sulfurous acid. Now again I will be using these two litmus papers, red color litmus paper and blue color litmus paper. Red color litmus paper will remain red and blue color litmus paper will change its color to red. That means this product which is obtained by the reaction of sulfur dioxide with water is acidic in nature. From these two reactions, children, can we conclude that when non-metals react with oxygen, they produce acidic oxides? Let us perform this activity of sulfur and try to understand it in a better way. So students, we are now going to find out what happens when non-metal reacts with oxygen. This is sulfur powder. As you know, it is a non-metal. Now what I am going to do, I am going to take this sulfur powder in a spatula and I am heating it on a Bunsen burner flame. Now you can find out that a gas is getting evolved when this is heated. Now I am trying to collect this gas inside the test tube, and you can see the fumes of this sulfur dioxide gas. Now I will add few drops of water into it and close it so that the gas will dissolve or mix well with the water. Now I am going to use a blue litmus paper. I have made it little bit wet so that the reaction can be faster. Now we are going to find out what happens to the blue litmus. As you can see, the blue litmus paper is changing its color to red. What does this imply? When blue litmus paper changes to red, that means it is an acid. Now, for confirming this, I will use the red litmus paper also. Now, I will place it in the test tube and you will find that there is no color change. So, this indicates that children, when non-metal reacts with oxygen, it produces acidic oxide. Now, as we have seen that when non-metals react with oxygen, they produce the acidic oxides. But there are few exceptions to this. Like the same carbon, if it reacts with oxygen, it will produce carbon monoxide. What it will produce? Carbon monoxide. And when this carbon monoxide is tested with wet litmus paper, we will find that the blue litmus paper as well as the red litmus paper, they do not change their color. That means the produced oxide is neutral in nature. What it is? Neutral in nature. So such oxides are called as neutral oxides. What they are called? Neutral oxides. Let us see another example of neutral oxide. A very well known example which we use in our day-to-day life, that is water. Water is produced by the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen gas. Hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas and then it produces water molecule. Now, if I test this water sample with blue litmus paper and red litmus paper, what I am going to observe? That the color do not change. That means the oxide produced by this, that is carbon monoxide, and the oxide, that is water, is also neutral oxide. That means it is not that always the non-metal will produce the acidic oxide. They do produce neutral oxides. So today what we have learned? Amphoteric oxides and neutral oxides. When metals react with oxygen, they produce basic oxide. Few metals, when they react with oxygen, they produce amphoteric oxides. Means they behave like acid as well as base. And when the non-metals react with oxygen, they produce acidic oxide. And few non-metals, when they react with oxygen, they produce neutral oxide.